All right, welcome everybody. We will officially call this meeting to order. I'm Lizzie Friend. I'm one of our Boulder Police Oversight Panel co-chairs. Welcome. We'll start by reading our land acknowledgement. We acknowledge the Arapaho, Ute, and Cheyenne tribes, the traditional custodians of the land on which the Police Oversight Panel and Boulder Police Department operate, and pay our respects to their elders past and present. We also just wanted to kick off this meeting with another acknowledgement today, mentioning that this was a really difficult week for Boulder and for many members of our community. A really awful thing happened and many people in our community are suffering. So we just want to acknowledge that. We stand with all the members of our Boulder community and we are thinking about all of you. All right, with that, I want to welcome everyone to the meeting, all of our panel members, our city staff, and any members of the public who are with us today. Thank you for joining us. We'll start off with a polite reminder of our expectations. We're hoping everyone can be on camera through the majority of the meeting, especially when we are voting. Also, just a few quick notes for our members of the public. We can answer quick questions in the Q&A in the chat, so please make use of that if you have quick questions. If you have bigger questions or comments, we'd love to hear them. There will be a public comment at around the halfway point of the meeting, so stay tuned for that. If you'd like to submit a complaint to the Police Oversight Panel or for the Boulder Police Department in general, you can do that anytime on our website. That's bouldercolorado.gov/services/police oversight. You can also email us anytime about complaints or for any other reason. We'd love to hear from you. Our email is policeoversightpanel@bouldercolorado.gov. And as a final reminder, this meeting and all of our meetings are recorded and available on our website, so you can watch this at any time or see any of our previous meetings there. All right, with that, we will start our roll call. Selena, I'll hand it over to you for roll call.
Thank you, Lizzie. Okay, go ahead, Sherry.
Kristen? Looks like absent. Jason?
I am present.
Donnie? Appears absent. Curtis?
Here.
Chico?
Here.
Bill?
Present.
Alan?
Here.
AB?
Here.
Soledad?
Here.
Milen?
Here.
And Lizzie.
Present. All right. With that, I will start by giving us a quick preview of the agenda. Looks like I don't have screen share, so I'll just quickly read through it. We will start out with some approvals. We will then go into an update from our community outreach and engagement team. We'll talk a little bit about the ordinance and some language in there. We'll have our independent police monitor report from Sherry. Then we'll have some panel updates and ad hoc items. We'll talk about our workshop that we held a few weeks back and talk about our upcoming Q2 meeting with the chief, which will be happening on June 30th. Then we'll go to public comment. Hopefully that'll be sometime between 7 and 7:30-ish. We'll go into closed session if necessary for up to 20 minutes, and then we'll go into our regular business of case review voting, and case assignment status before adjourning by hopefully 8:30. All right, so do we have approval of the agenda? Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Great, thanks, Alan.
I can second.
All right, all in favor of approving the agenda? Great. Anyone against? All right. All right, with that, we'll go to our minutes from last meeting. Hopefully everyone had a chance to review any changes to the minutes. Otherwise, do we have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from May.
Thanks, Ellen. Do we have a second? All right, second from Jason. All in favor of approving the minutes? All right, minutes from last month are approved. With that, we will go to our Community Outreach and Engagement Committee Chair, Bill.
Okay, so I had to reschedule our meeting because of work stuff, so we're meeting on Thursday. So unless other folks have something they want to contribute today, I don't know if Milan or Curtis have anything. I've just been working with the Connectors group, and we think that we're gonna try to figure out a date in August for them to come together with us to actually talk about how we can collaborate with them. And I think Edgar has sent some of the activities that they're doing. And so we'll have a pretty good idea of how to work with them throughout the rest of the year. So I think that's the main thing that I've been working on, and glad to see that we're finally close to having a date for us all to work together and meet. So that's mainly what I've been working on. Milan or Curtis, anything you want to bring up? I know we're not meeting till Thursday, so.
Yeah, but we had, since last general panel meeting, we had a meeting. So if you could report on that, I would appreciate it.
The community meeting?
Yes.
So you mean the meeting where we decided we weren't gonna do the Juneteenth event? That one, okay. So we had talked about the Juneteenth event and found through the city attorney's office and Sherry working with them that was outside of our scope to host an event like that. That what was mostly in our purview was being able to piggyback on other events and set up tables and things like that. And so it couldn't be hosted by the panel. And then Curtis brought up that there was something that Naropa was thinking of putting on that had to do with the police panel and policing. And that the last I saw, and Sherry, you can correct me, or Chris, that's something that we could participate in as long as we weren't hosting it. We could engage with that and talk with Naropa through Curtis about how to engage with that so it didn't land outside the scope of what it says in the ordinance. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. And is our next meeting on Wednesday or Thursday?
It's on one of those days. It's
It's on my calendar as
oh,
Wednesday,
it's
but
tomorrow. It's Wednesday, yeah. It's
okay.
Wednesday. I have too many evening meetings this week, sorry.
Just
Yeah,
wanted to make sure we're on the same page.
We're meeting on Wednesday. And so that's where that stood. So we're not hosting a Juneteenth event, but Curtis, I think as you move forward with Naropa, there's an opportunity for us to talk to you through them, or vice versa, to find out the best way for us to engage. Is that something that still is happening or that's being talked about?
Yeah, no, I don't think I will be interested in filming or in screening the film with Naropa in the fall. We're going to be screening it with B-Surge on Juneteenth weekend.
Okay.
So I feel that is enough. And yeah, if there's other community engagement items that come up in the future, then we move with those.
Okay, great.
Can you share more, like the date and the time?
Yeah, it's going to be June 22nd at 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. at the First United Methodist Church. Yeah.
2 to 5?
2 to 5.
Anything else anybody wants to add or has an idea of something that we could be involved in moving forward? I know we're getting into the summer months when lots of people are not doing events and vacationing.
I was talking with some other city staff, and apparently the city of Boulder has a table at Pride Fest. So that's something to think about for the next year, I think,
Okay,
if panel members are interested.
great. Thanks, Sherry. Anything else from any of the panel members? Okay, Lizzie, I think I've taken my 10 minutes.
I think Soledad's hand was
Oh,
up.
sorry, Soledad. I didn't see your hand up there. Thank you.
Yeah, just want to address the what I heard here, and I think there was an email shared at some point. I'm interested in clarifying the scope of activities of the panel. Don't necessarily agree, as most of you know, because I sent an email, with such a strict and small interpretation of the scope of the panel and community engagement activities. So again, if this is something, Chris, that we can talk about, I welcome the opportunity to discuss it, but I don't think that this is the approach that was intended with the ordinance or the bylaws, that to have such a restrictive interpretation of the ordinance in terms of the community engagement activities that the panel can do. So just want to kind of voice that, because it really doesn't align with the intention of the panel, in my opinion. So welcome the opportunity to chat more. I don't want to take over this, but just want to say
Great.
this.
And I get to briefly address those concerns. Thank you so much. And hello, everyone. I've met some of you, but I'm Chris Reynolds. I'm with the Boulder City Attorney's Office. I'm now the panel's attorney, and I'm happy to be here. I was on the original body in 2019 that set up civilian police oversight of the Boulder Police Department, and I really valued that time. So I'm very happy to be here. And thank you for the question. There is no prohibition on the panel hosting a movie for a community engagement session event, and I hope I did not communicate that through anyone. We would just have to do it in accordance with the ordinance, which is very specific. 211.9 subsection H basically outlines 2 different ways that the panel can conduct community engagement. And the first subsection talks about, when I read it and other attorneys in our office read that, that's really about like something close in time, some sort of event occurs, and then the panel would host a community event about that specific instance. And so when talking about the movie, I think it would really fall under the second one, where it would be in collaboration with the monitor. It could, host a movie event or something like that, but it would also have to, there'd have to be a little bit more community engagement. It couldn't just be a movie showing. It'd have to talk about, the process for filing complaints and commendations about police employees. It'd have to be more than just about the movie, at least in our interpretation of this ordinance. And thank you.
Milan, go ahead.
So the plan was not to just have a movie, but to have a conversation about policing around that movie and about the panel, presenting the panel and what we do and how people can file complaints. We would have had conversation with the directors of the movie, interviewed by a member of the community that we felt was perfect to hold the conversation. And so can you explain to me how that event wouldn't work according to the ordinance.
It sounds like that event is kind of getting pretty close to the ordinance, and I'm not saying that you can't do it. I'm just saying that it would have to be done in accordance with the ordinance. So
What would we need to do in order for it to be in accordance? We're not going to do it with the panel. Obviously, it's been I don't know. I don't have a word for it, but what did we need to do for it, in addition to what I just explained? What would have been necessary to be in accordance with the ordinance that was not in accordance with the ordinance? Is that clear?
Yes. So as long as the panel's working with the independent police monitor to plan a community engagement event that includes the process for filing complaints and commendations about police employees, then I think an event like that is possible.
Okay, thank you so much, because I think we were working with the independent police monitor and we were following everything that's in accordance to the ordinance and the bylaws. So I appreciate your explanation.
Certainly.
Chico?
So Chris, tell me something here. So it sounds like the way you're explaining it, if we come up with a program of what we want to do, it has to be vetted by the monitor? Is that, or am I misinterpreting?
If the community engagement event is under 211(9)(h)(2), which it sounds like that is the most appropriate portion of the ordinance for an event like this, because the other community engagement portion of the ordinance is kind of temporarily bound to a specific incident that might happen. Then yes, it says in collaboration with the monitor, the panel may conduct education and outreach activities to inform the community. So yeah, so you would have to work with the monitor in collaboration.
So the key word is collaboration and not vetting.
Yeah.
Yes, collaboration.
Okay, fine.
Actually, can you define collaboration and who decides if an event happens or not?
Collaboration would be working together towards a common goal. And so I think if the people who are working together want an event to happen, and we all believe that it's in the the spirit of the work and it's in accordance with the ordinance, then it can completely happen.
And if not, is it like a vote, or is it?
So the actions of the panel have to be decided by a majority. So yeah, it would be a majority vote would decide.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Curtis?
Yeah, I think where some of the confusion is coming from as far as collaboration is concerned is that there was communication with Bill and Sherry of this event from the beginning, as far as like what were the next steps that needed to be done and working in this together. We even had meetings. So that part of the ordinance was followed thoroughly. And then at some point in time, a decision came, who I believe was the city manager, had told us that we weren't in alignment with the ordinance. And that's how come the event wasn't able to be done. But now you're saying that if we shape it within the ordinance and do the collaboration that we had been doing, then we are in alignment with the ordinance. So I think what Milan is trying to ask is who's able to make the decision that an event isn't going to happen if we're in alignment with the ordinance. Is that fair?
So It depends on where the event is. So like the host of the event would have to approve it. And then so there's, you know, different check boxes that would need to be checked. But there's no blanket prohibition on, you know, incorporating a movie showing as part of the community engagement. And it's something we can continue, you know, obviously to look at. I'm not saying, I've never said that it can't happen. Just that, you know, it would just have to be in accordance with the ordinance.
So I'm gonna ask the question straightforward. Can the police monitor, the independent police monitor, decide that an event organized by the community engagement committee won't happen even if the process followed is in accordance with the bylaw, the ordinance?
I mean, every situation is going to be dependent on the facts, but you know, the ordinance doesn't rest the authority with the entirety of community engagement with the independent police monitor. It contemplates a collaboration.
Soledad?
Lower my hand, couldn't mute myself. I'm having so much trouble with what I'm hearing. I don't think the ordinance, if we read you know the articles that you mentioned, I don't think the intention is for this to happen. I also think that the word collaboration go both ways. Is collaborating the panel, the community engagement committee with the monitor, and the other way around, the monitor collaborating with panel members and the community engagement committee to make an event happen. Also, there was a time, appropriateness of the time for this event to happen, which was around Juneteenth, and it was an event that was meant as an event around surrounding that day of celebration, or not celebration, Juneteenth, right? And for a very specific community. So I'm having so much trouble. I don't think that the ordinance in any part said that we will have to see, we will have to approve, we have to talk about it. Like that's not contemplated in the ordinance. If that, I mean, hearing you, Chris, is really concerning to me that we're looking at that. So if we don't have a process for approval of events, it's not in the bylaws, it's not in the ordinance. So when you said we will have to see, who is we? And I'm having like a lot of difficulty with the interpretation that you're giving to the ordinance right now. This was not the intention. It's not the intention of the panel. The panel is mandated to engage with community and provide information. And a movie screening, a gathering, food, a table, a farmer's market table, whatever, is a mean, is a way of the panel to engage with community. So, you know, I really look forward, and again, we don't have to talk about it and solve it right now, but I really look forward to having a thorough conversation about what I'm hearing. This is not a we have to see if an event is approvable. That is not where in the ordinance. And it's not the intention of the ordinance, and it's not the intention of the bylaws. And I understand that you were part of the first group. I was part of the drafting of the ordinance, and I also was part of the drafting of the bylaws. This was never the intention. And it also was never the intention of City Council to approve something like this. So if we can please find time to go over this, I would really appreciate it.
Chris, is it possible for you to come to a meeting on Wednesday?
Yes.
Further discuss this from 5:30 to 6:30?
Yeah.
Because I know we have an agenda to get through, so I want to let Kristen have the last comment, and then if you could join us, Chris, that would be great. And we can go a little bit deeper into this. So Kristen, I'll let you have the last comment, then we'll get back to our agenda.
No, thank you. Yeah, I heard, Chris, thank you, for your explanation. I heard that in your explanation, I heard you say that as long as the boxes are checked, that an event would be possible. And I think I'm just kind of echoing or restating a concern. And so, what are those precise boxes? And who checks them, and how do people confirm that they're checked? Because from what Curtis and Bill and Milan have said, they were checking all the boxes that they knew of, and then new boxes appeared in the process. So is there a way to kind of it seems as what Soledad is saying, that those boxes have not been codified, or that they're imaginary and they just kind of appeared, or they appeared with someone's interpretation of the ordinance. And so it'd be great for clarity there.
Yeah, and maybe you could gather some more information for us, and if you can make it on Wednesday, that would be great. So gonna turn it back over. Sherry, can you coordinate with Chris about his availability, or share him our invite to see if that's possible?
I'm looking at my calendar right now, and Wednesday evening is not looking good. But I'm happy to assist, and I think an event like this would be great. So.
Well, I think you have all of our questions, and maybe you could just maybe put something together for us, and we could figure out another time to get you on. So I'm going to move back to Lizzie so that we can carry on with our agenda. And if y'all have follow-up questions, just shoot me emails or put an email in to everybody, and then we can make sure that Chris has all the questions that we need to get answered.
All right. Thank you, Bill, and thanks everyone. Really appreciate this discussion. And thanks for being here, Chris, and looking forward to discussing this further. All right. With that, we will go next to Sherry for our independent police monitor report.
Is my screen sharing? You all got real small, and so did the screen.
Got it.
Okay. Okay, the June 2025 Boulder Police Oversight Panel Independent Police Monitors Report. Looking at case file review data for May 2025, there were 0 case file reviews completed in May. There are currently 12 cases awaiting panel review, including one which is scheduled for tomorrow. Everyone who's on MI 2024-083, consider yourself reminded. Looking at the cases that have been completed since the beginning of May 2025, we have MI 2025-006. BPD and surrounding law enforcement agencies responded to a SWAT incident that lasted several hours. A Reddit poster shared real-time updates that included confidential information reportedly learned from the poster's girlfriend at BPD. An internal investigation identified Officer Number 1. Officer Number 1 had a Rule 10, which is Security of Police Information allegation, released confidential law enforcement information without authorization on 1 or more occasions. I recommended that allegation be sustained, and with the discipline recommendation of a 5-year letter of reprimand, and the department agreed with that. MI 2025-010. Officers 1 and 2 responded to a call of assault just occurred between neighbors. They interviewed the 911 caller, who was the victim first, and then spoke with the complainant. A video taken by the victim captured complainant admitting to pushing victim. Complainant admitted to the officers that he pursued victim into street and pushed the victim. Officers issued the complainant a summons for physical harassment. The allegations against Officer 1 was Rule 1, compliance with values, rules, and general orders. Customer service value, did not conduct an impartial and/or thorough investigation. I recommended that this allegation be unfounded in accordance with General Order 120, and the department agreed. And another Rule 1 allegation did not sufficiently document an incident. I recommended that that allegation be unfounded, and the department also agreed. MI 2025-012, BPD members, including Sergeant 1, responded to a call of stalking at a school. The victim worked at the school and noticed complainant repeatedly walking around the school. Complainant had recently left a note on victim's car at her home, requesting to spend the night with victim. In response to the note, the victim's brother contacted complainant and told him to leave the victim alone. When BPD arrived 15 minutes after the 911 call, complainant was still walking around the school. Complainant informed BPD that neither him walking around the school nor leaving a note on a car was illegal. Complainant was given a verbal warning to not contact the victim. The allegation against Sergeant 1 is a Rule 4, respect for others, was hostile and/or aggressive to complainant. I recommended that this allegation be unfounded in accordance with General Order 120, and the department agreed. And a Rule 5 allegation, police authority and public trust, improperly stopped and/or detained and/or questioned complainant. I recommended that this allegation also be unfounded in accordance with General Order 120, and the department agreed. MI 2025-013, officers responded to a 911 call that complainant was harassing customers on the Hill, including flipping everybody off. When officers arrived, a woman approached them and shared that complainant was making her uncomfortable and had previously followed her when her shift ended. When confronted by officers, complainant denied wrongdoing and admitted to flipping off only one person. Officer 1 informed complainant that he was harassing people. During this conversation, Officer 1 turned his attention away from complainant. When Officer 1 refocused, a complainant's hand was in close proximity to Officer 1's face. Officer 1 grabbed complainant's wrist and pushed complainant away from him. Both PSU and the monitor identified tactical concerns, including Officer 1 allowing complainant's close proximity, followed by Officer 1 turning his attention away from complainant. Officer 1 received coaching from a BPD sergeant. The allegation was Rule 6, use of force, push complainant. I recommended that this allegation be exonerated, and the department agreed. MI 2025-014, complainant reported numerous complaints beginning in 2015. Almost none of these complaints involved BPD, but instead other law enforcement, court, or medical entities. A recent incident involved Officer 1 investigating an allegation the complainant violated an order of protection by texting his ex-girlfriend's father about beginning a fresh start on her birthday. Officer 1 went to complainant's home and tried to speak with him. Complainant refused, so Officer 1 left and attempted to call complainant later that evening. The ex-girlfriend offered that complainant has a vendetta against police. The allegation against Officer 1 is Rule 5, public authority and police authority and public trust, attempted to arrest complainant without a warrant and/or harassed complainant. I recommended that this allegation be unfounded, and the department agreed. MI 2025-015, Officer 1 engaged with complainant regarding her concern that her employee stole money from her by getting paid directly by a client. Initially, complainant did not want to press criminal charges, but only wanted the money returned. Employee agreed to pay back the money within a week. After employee left bad reviews for complainant's business, complainant wanted BPD to charge employee criminally. Officer 1 told complainant that employee would have a week to pay back the money before he would consider criminal charges. This matter initially was classified as a conflict facilitation process, which is our term for mediation, and complainant agreed to participate. However, complainant did not follow through with scheduling the mediation. The allegation against Officer 1, Rule 1, compliance with values, rules, and general orders, customer service value, failed to provide sufficient customer service. I recommended that this matter be administratively closed, and the department agreed. MI 2025-016, complainant was arrested following a domestic incident where she was recklessly pursuing her ex-husband and son through Boulder. Inside her vehicle were multiple animals, including a bearded dragon. Animal Protection Officer, APO1, was able to find care for all of the animals. The bearded dragon was temporarily homed with the Humane Society of Boulder County. Over the next several weeks, APO1 and additional BPD members provided complainant with the process to regain the bearded dragon. APO1 even requested an extension on complainant's behalf. Complainant never initiated this process, and the bearded dragon was rehomed. Sergeant 1 received a Rule 1 allegation, General Order 101, unbiased policing, discriminated against complainant because she is a woman. The allegation against Sergeant 1 was unfounded in accordance with General Order 120 based on my recommendation, and the department agreed. And he also received an allegation that he improperly stopped and or detained and or questioned complainant. And that allegation was unfounded based on my recommendation, and the departments agreed with that. Looking at the case statistics, for May 2025, I classified 7 complaints. 3 of those were misconduct. 4 were community feedbacks. I observed and participated in 6 interviews. There were 0 critical incident scene responses. I deemed thorough and complete 2 cases, and BPD closed 7 cases this month. As of June 5th, there were 36 cases that are open. 23 of those are classified. 2 were pending the monitor's classification, and 11 were in PSU's preliminary investigation stage. Providing you an update on the cases that were classified in 2024, which remain open. There are 7 of those. So SM 2024-003, the statement is scheduled. MI 2024-065, that should be being prepared for panel review. MI 2024-076 is in chain of command review. MI 2024-078, chain of command review. MI 2024-082, those statements have been rescheduled. MI 2024-083, this case the panel is reviewing tomorrow. MI 2024-084, that case is also in chain of command review. Some of the events that I attended in May included a Rocky Mountain Equality and Law Enforcement Liaison meeting. I attended a History of Boulder Human Rights, Cultural Organization Summit, Junie Joseph and Senator Amabale's Town Hall, Public Safety and Criminal Justice Reform Advisory Committee for Junie Joseph, and Modus Youth Behind and Beyond Bars, where I also had oversight literature available for the guests of that program. Are there any questions? Yes, Chica?
So I look at the last part where you did some community engagement there, and I'm wondering whether, because we've been talking about collaboration, right, between this body and your office. So I'm wondering whether we need to do more to collaborate to see whether we can be part of whatever you're doing.
I mean, you can always ask, and I can share some of the events that I'm planning to go to. As you saw, I sent out, or maybe you didn't see, but in the email that I sent out last week, I shared some of the community events that are coming up for Pride celebration and Juneteenth.
Yeah, the point is maybe we need to sync up more or better to have a more coordinated approach.
I'm certainly open to that.
Yeah.
And Chico, I'm hearing that loud and clear, so that'll be part of our conversation on Wednesday also.
Oh, I'm still sharing my screen.
Any other questions or final thoughts for Sherry? All right, thank you, Sherry. Next up, we have our kind of special business for the month, starting with the discussion of our workshop priorities. Sherry, is that a Sherry topic or a
I was hoping that
Bill
that
and Alan
would be
topic?
a Bill and Alan topic.
So Bill and Alan, I believe you may have volunteered yourselves to sort of finalize our workshop priorities that we determined at the strategy session a couple weeks back. If you guys are up
Well,
for
we were going to get together and work a little bit on that today, but didn't happen. And so we're thinking we'll be talking a little bit about it later this week. So we might be able to share something that we come up with, but maybe make a presentation later or just have it for your review and understanding consideration.
Our work schedules were a bit out of sync, and so as hard as we tried, we couldn't find a date that works, but we're actually working to talk tomorrow.
Great. I know that struggle well. I'm sure we all do.
Apologies for that.
All good. Thank you guys for volunteering and for your work on that. We'll look forward to hearing more. All right, on to our discussion of the Q2 meeting with Chief Redfern.
Yeah, I just wanted to remind people it should be on June 30th on your calendars. That is an in-person meeting. Usually we meet for food half an hour before the meeting actually starts. And please provide questions that you have in advance so that BPD has the opportunity to either arrange the appropriate person to speak or provide more thorough answers than Chief Redfern just speaking off the cuff. So that form is in our SharePoint folder.
Sherry, what is the deadline for when would you like us to have those in by?
Given that the meeting is on a Monday, if we can get it by like Thursday afternoon, that would be great.
Okay, so the 26th.
I'm gonna trust your calendar. Mine is not pulled up.
Maybe we can put a calendar reminder for folks on there. I certainly could use that. So I'll work on that. Thoughts, questions, anything else in prep for the chief meeting? All right. Anything else in ad hoc items before we continue?
Oh, I can't remember if new panel members have attended one of these or not. It's generally scheduled at Penfield Tate.
Great. All right, up next is public comment. I think we may have.
Sorry, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Maybe this is just for administrative wise, but Sherry, have you considered getting feedback on the strategic workshop? And have you looked into getting feedback from the panel members?
On
the strategic workshop?
You mean more than their ability to write on the cards?
Just like how the actual event went to them specifically, and how you can, I guess, not make it better, but just make it a more reflective event for next year. I'm just thinking, like, have you thought about getting feedback from the panel members regarding on how that went for them?
I did not have an official survey or response.
Okay.
Certainly, I mean, we can either talk about that today if people want to, or they can certainly email me information. Or we can bump that until we get the presentation from Alan and Bill next week, or not next week. Scratch that, next month.
Okay. Thank you.
I think that's a great point and a great idea. I know we gave some feedback the day of on our facilitator, but it would be great to talk more broadly and just, plan for next time. It was a great event. I'm sure there's always ways we can adjust. So if folks are up for it, let's plan for that next month. Does that sounds good to everybody? And I'm not trying to peg you down for that time, Bill and Alan. If you're ready by then, we'll do both. If not, we can also discuss feedback next month. All right, with that, we will go to public comment. Each member of the public will have 2 minutes to speak if they choose. I believe we have one member of the public with us today. What I will do is we will give you a chance to speak. We'll put a timer up and we will take you off mute and you're able to speak if you would like. Selena, are you able to bring up the timer that you've done in the past? I have not done that before. Otherwise, I can time separately and give some updates.
It's 3 minutes, is that correct? Or are you gonna go over all the speaking rules and such?
Oh, 3 minutes. You may be right.
It's 2 minutes.
2, okay. Let me know if you see this on your screen.
I have it. All right. Is this for me to control, Selena? I'm sorry to be.
I think it's either one of us.
Okay. All right. So I think we have Anna with us. I don't have the ability to unmute. Selena, can you handle that? Give Anna the ability to unmute if she'd like to speak.
Yeah. Anna,
All right.
you have been given the ability to unmute. If you would like to comment, just press on the unmute button.
I just kind of came to hang out, but the thing that I was curious about is who to contact if you're like curious about how like Boulder is collaborating with ICE and how to prevent like Boulder police from collaborating unnecessarily with ICE. And it sounds like this is not the place to do that, but does anybody know where the place to do that is? Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. We appreciate your comments and appreciate you being here. Does anyone want to address that question?
I can address that. Oh.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I'm pretty sure the city still has a ban on any collaboration with ICE, and that also the police department as well. So we do not collaborate and have not collaborated with ICE.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Curtis.
I had a ride along today with the officer and we spoke about that briefly. I believe if you go to the Boulder police station, they'll tell you their stance on their cooperation with ICE. The officer that I spoke with today, Officer Carlos, had mentioned that if there's a warrant signed by a judge, that they have to abide by that. But other than that, then they'll keep their participation very limited with ICE.
Thanks, Curtis. Go ahead, Soledad.
Yeah, Anna, thank you so much for your question and your concern. Just want to add that if you need updated information, you can contact the district attorney's office in Boulder. Michael Doherty have been super clear in what his stance is in terms of collaboration with ICE, but I think it's always good to present the question and get a clear and direct answer. So really appreciate you bringing this up. Thank you.
All right, go ahead, Sherry.
Yeah, I would like to share that back in, I think, February, Chief Redford and I presented, and he even specifically offered that if people are concerned that ICE is not complying with rules and regulations, if they don't have body-worn cameras activated, that people are actually welcome to call BPD to be able to like at least record and hopefully be a calming presence. So that seemed to assure several of the members of that community when he shared that information with them.
Thanks, Sherry. And is that the emergency line, call 911, or what is the route to contacting BPD?
You know, he didn't get into
Right now?
that, but I would assume 911.
Okay. Thanks. Go ahead, Milan.
I just want to also mention for anybody who listens to us, there's the Colorado Immigration Rights Network that is keeping track of ICE activities around Boulder County. And so I would recommend that everybody go to their website, CIRC. I think it's .org, I'm not sure, but Colorado Immigrants Right Coalition, to get their phone number as well. I think that might be useful.
Excellent. All right, any other comments? Thank you again, Anna. Really appreciate you being here. All right. That concludes our public comment. I don't believe, just triple checking. All right, yep, we don't have anyone else with us today. So we will move into, I guess, typically we would take our break right around now. Do folks want to take a break and then return for potential closed session? All right, so we will take 5 minutes. Let's just call it back at 7:31. We'll see you guys then. All right, see you in a bit. All right, we are back. Next up is an option to go into closed session if we have questions about our cases for review this month or for voting. Go ahead, Soledad.
No, just Selena, if we can make a quick note that Kristen joined us. So her attendance is reflected in the minutes, please.
Good point. And Kristen, I think you just missed the very beginning when we did roll call. So we wanted to make sure your attendance got noted. Thanks, Soledad.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah. Does anyone want to motion to go into closed session? I think we have a light load this month. I believe we have three cases.
I will do it. Motion to go to a closed session. Do I have a
I can second.
All right. All in favor of going into closed session? Any against? All right. We will go into closed session for up to 20 minutes, possibly shorter if needed. We'll be back on or before 7:53 for any members of the public. Thanks.
Camera, please. Okay, so we're back from closed session, and the next business will be a case review voting. Are you doing roll call, Sherry? Okay, cool.
And I'll do it slow enough.
Okay.
If not, Solana will tell me to slow down.
Yeah, again, for panel members to please be on camera when we vote. Thank you. Okay, so case MI 2025-023. So, Sherry, if you want to do roll call to vote.
Oh, I
on
thought
the-
you usually gave the rule violation.
Oh, should we do that? Okay. So it's Rule 6, use of force. Rule 1, compliance with values, rules, and general orders. For Officer 1, for Officer 2, Rule 6, use of force. And Rule 1, compliance with values, rules, and general orders. And General Orders 101, unbiased policing. Yep, ready to vote.
Okay. Kristen? Unmute.
Yes.
Jason?
No.
Oh, Donnie's not here. Curtis?
Yes.
Chico?
Yes.
Bill?
No.
Alan?
Muted, Alan.
No.
AB? Soledad?
Yes.
Milen?
Yes.
And Lizzie?
Yes.
Okay, that looks like a yes.
Okay, so next case will be MI 2025-024 for Officer 1, Rule 6, use of force. Yeah, that's the one allegation.
Okay. Kristen?
Yes.
And Jason?
Yes.
And Curtis?
Yes.
And Chico?
Yes.
And Bill?
Yes.
And Alan?
Yes.
And AB? AB? You're muted.
Yes. I'm so sorry.
Soledad?
Yes.
Milen?
Yes.
And Lizzie?
Yes.
Okay, so next case, MI 2025-025. It's one officer, Rule 4, respect for others.
Okay. Kristen?
No.
And Jason?
No.
Curtis?
No.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
No. Can you hear me?
Now we can.
Okay, yeah, that was no.
Thank you. Chico?
No.
Bill?
No.
Alan?
No.
And AB? Okay, that looks like a thumbs down. No. Soledad?
Nope.
Milen?
No.
And Lizzie?
Sorry, unmuting problems. No, thanks.
Okay. Okay, so it looks like yes for 023 and yes for, well, obviously yes for 024.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Okay, do we need to assign the cases then? So volunteers for MI 2025-023. Bill, Kristen, Chico. Okay. Cool. Volunteers for MI 2025-024. So me, Milan, we need one more.
Curtis.
Lizzie.
Curtis said yes too.
Okay, Curtis. Thank you, Curtis. Lizzie. Okay. You're muted, Sherry.
Okay, so for the first one, 023, Kristen, Chico, and Bill?
Yeah.
Okay. And then the second one, Curtis, Soledad, Milen, and Lizzie. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Did I miss anyone?
No, I think we're good.
Okay.
Okay. So we're early. Anyone else had anything else before we adjourn? We need a motion to adjourn, please.
I'll move to adjourn.
Oh, Sterling, do you have something? Do
Second.
you raise your hand?
Yeah, just if you guys want to look at the comment I put in there about where it's at in the Boulder Revised Code, dealing with employees asking about immigration status and working with cases involving immigration. That's it. Thank you.
I don't see it.
So Sterling, do you mind repeating that? We don't see for some reason, your message in the chat. So if you wanna.
It might have been
It should
in the
be.
breakout room, and so now it's no longer available
Oh,
to us.
okay.
I can
It's
share it.
okay. It's 12-5-2.
Thanks, Sterling.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. So coming back, we had a motion to adjourn, and it was
Second.
perfect. So we're good. Bill and Jason, thank you so much. And we can adjourn then.
Bye,
Have a great
everyone.
night.
Have a good night.
Good night, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Night all.